So today we're going to work on learning how to format in Google Docs. And what I mean by that is format just means change stuff. So open your Google Docs. Your Google Docs is a blue and white icon. Docs, and this might look different. What you're seeing right here on your screen might look a little bit different than yours. Docs, as far as Google Docs, is spelled D-O-C-S, and that stands for documents. And documents is like a piece of paper with words on it. Documents use words. Okay, this down here at the bottom is your doc, D-O-C-K, and we worked on that last class. So I'm not talking about your doc of icons and apps at the bottom. I'm talking about Google Docs, and so let's have that straight in your mind what the difference is there. So alright, so we've got Google Docs open, and down in the bottom right hand corner you'll see this red circle with a white plus sign in it. Click that, and then you'll need to choose template or a new document. We want the new document with the red circle and the pencil. All right, and then the very first thing that comes up is it wants you to give your new document a name. A good file name always contains information regarding whose it is. So I'm going to put Fletcher. Don't put Fletcher unless your name is actually Fletcher. Put your last name, a space, and then what assignment it is. So whose it is and what it is. The name of this assignment is called Format Google Docs. So the name of this file for you needs to be your last name and then Format Google Docs, and then click Create. Okay, and then you'll notice that up at the top next to the check mark it says Fletcher Format Google Docs, and there's a blue line blinking. That blue line is your cursor, and your cursor tells you where you are on the paper. Okay, so at right above the cursor you see there's a B, an I, a U, an S, and an A. The B stands for bold. So if we're typing something and then we want to make the letters look bold, we would click on B for bold. Okay? The I stands for italics, which means slanted. The U with the line under it is for underline. The S with the line going through it is for strike through. I can't think of any reason why you would use that, but that's what it is. The A with what is right now a black line, a thick black line, that's your text color. Text is the letters. So in this case, they just used an A, and the color there is telling you that it's black. If you click on that, you could change it to red or yellow or blue. Okay, so now if you just changed that, go ahead and change it back to black for right now. Okay? All right, so what we're going to do is type your first name. You have to capitalize. We talked about that in the keyboarding when we started doing keyboarding. So do Shift and type your first name. Now don't hold down Shift for your entire first name because that's not how we do that. We don't capitalize your whole name. Okay? Also, don't use caps lock. Okay? So just put your first name with the first letter capitalized, then put a space, and then put your last name. Okay, and notice that your cursor is now at the end of your last name. Now, in order to format, you have to tell your computer what you want to format. Okay, how you do that is you have to select what you want the computer to change. So we're going to click on. I just clicked on my last name, and it brought up this menu that says Select, Select All, Paste, or add a comment. I'm going to do select, and it's going to do what's right in front of the cursor. So it's saying, okay, do you want to change Fletcher? Because that's what's selected now. Okay. Notice also at the beginning on top there's a control handle, and at the end of Fletcher underneath there's a control handle. What those are for is if you want to then expand what is selected. So, oh, you know what? I only clicked on select for my last name, but maybe I do want to pull this over to get my first name as well. Okay, so go ahead and pull that on over. So now I've got all of it selected there. Now, with it all selected, if I go back to bold and I click that, or I click the text color, it will change all of what I've got selected there. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to make it bold. See how it's a little bit thicker now? We're going to make it italics. It's now slanted. We're going to make it underline. Don't do the strike through. And then we're going to make it red. So click on the text color and make it red. Okay, so we've just formatted some of that. If you touch your screen, it'll go make the color palette go away. So it's bold, italics, underline, and you can tell that it is because around the bold, italics, and underline, it's got this little gray box telling you that. All right, now the next thing after the little pencil is this alignment. And right now, you can tell by the black line right here that it's aligned so that it starts on the left. Let's click Center Align, okay? So it just stuck it in the center of the page, okay? If you wanted for some reason for it to be way over here on the right and lined up on the right margin, the right edge, you would click the Right Align, okay? But let's go ahead and put it back on center. Okay, so we've got bold, italics, underline, we made it red, and now we've made it center. Now up here at the top, you see this arrow that's going backwards, and there's an arrow going forwards, and there's a plus sign, there's an A with some lines behind it, and the 3 dots. If you click on the plus sign, we'll get more into this in a later assignment. That's where you would insert various items, okay? Go ahead and click on that, or click off of that. On this A with the lines behind it, notice, okay, I wasn't imagining it. We do have bold, italics, and underline already formatted. The style, we'll never really use the style, but we go down here to the font, F-O-N-T, the font. I'm not saying front, F-R-O-N-T, I'm saying font. The font is the style of the letters. Right now, the font is Arial. Arial is very easy to read, okay? But if you change it to Calibri, you can see that it just looks a little bit different. If you go on down here to any of these, you can see how that changes what it looks like, okay? We're going to go all the way down to lobster, just because I like lobsters. And it makes it look kind of fancy like that. Okay, so make it lobster. All right, and then touch your screen to make that go away. Now, it's not really very big. So if you click back on your A, and right underneath font, you'll see size. Right now it's 11, and that's pretty standard. But if you'll click this up arrow, it'll keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think we want that to be 68. Go ahead and keep going. And there you go, 68. You could make it bigger than that, but for our assignment, make it 68. I'm going to go through and check when you turn this in. I'm going to go through and check and make sure that it is bold, italics, underline, red, center align, that it's the lobster font, and that it's size 68. And then to get rid of your selection, just touch your screen there. And you can touch at the end to make it go away. All right? This will save automatically, and then next class I'll show you how to turn it in.